What's up everyone, Fritz here again with another episode of Sneakerhead Ambition. Today I will not be doing an episode or a tutorial to say, but a live cop. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I finally successfully recorded myself and have some footage today from the Nike Dunk Low Camos and the Jordan 1 Pollens that just released. So starting off, I just want to say I'm not promising any cinematographic masterpieces here, right? I'm just getting better at kind of putting these videos together and just recording myself in general while on drops. That is new for me. So just focus on that, right? I'm trying to provide valuable content that's informative. So if you're new to the space, this should be able to help. And if you're just kind of trying to see what I do and how I set up, this will be helpful as well. So as I mentioned at the start, today's going to be covering the Dunk Low Camos and the AJ1 Pollens. In these videos, you are going to see mostly Wrath. You'll also see Prism and Kodai. Those are the three bots that I used over these drops, with Wrath being the most successful. So we'll get into that footage now. Starting off with the dunk drop, I'll go over both of the bots I ran. I ran Wrath and I ran Prism. Wrath I had run many times before, so the setup was pretty easy. With Prism, this was the first time I had run it on foot sites and purchasing it, so I did need to kind of get a few things worked out as far as my solvers, how to use 2-CAPTCHA, anti-CAPTCHA, and how to split those up, so we'll see that as well. As far as my setup goes, you'll notice on Prism and Wrath that I'm really trying to keep my task groups to between 100 and 200. This helps you better manipulate them, maybe change the skew, maybe change the site. It really just gives you more mobility and flexibility as the drop goes on, and it just makes the bot run more smoothly. After reviewing all of my setup and all my proxies, leading into this drop, I had made a few purchases. I got AMG ISPs, I got Rainbow 4.0s, and I got Proxy Heaven Residentials. All of those did extremely well for me, so when you're watching this live footage, notice which task groups are hitting. Those proxies did extremely well for me in addition to live. As far as proxies go with the dunk drop, I added a couple after reviewing kind of my setup and my strategy going into drop. So I added AMG ISPs, Rainbow 4.0s, and I added Proxy Heaven Residentials. All of these, as you'll notice if you're watching the footage, are groups in my proxy setup that hit relatively hard. So just always keep in mind that you should always be reviewing what proxies you're using, if they are working, and how you can possibly upgrade. If you need more help with proxies, I did make a video a week or two ago on proxies. This isn't the video where I'm going to dive into that any further, but if you need that information, go check that out. But again, I stress that you should always be looking at how you can improve, right? Look at drop recaps within your groups, right? See what proxies did the best and see if you can get into them, right? Proxies are becoming more and more important, so just something to focus on moving forward. Anyway, here's the footage from the drop. All in all, in this drop, I was extremely happy with 10. The stock numbers heading in looked at about 4K total between Kids Foot Locker and Foot Locker. So I was expecting maybe 2 or 3 if I did well, but ended up with 10. So I was extremely happy with that. The one thing I would say is I needed to do a better job of setting up Prism. That was my first time running it, so I just need to get down how to better spread out my 2-cap, my anti-cap, and my auto solve. So the harvesters were an issue with that, but I was going to work on that and get ready to roll for the next drop. Next, we'll cover the AJ1 Pollen drop, and on this drop I ran Wrath, Prism, and Kodai. So unfortunately at the start of this I woke up a little late, so I was not able to set up all 3 bots. I made a bad choice and picked Prism over Kodai. I had a little note written on my desk from the night before that was saying possibly switch out Kodai for Prism. Woke up a little late and didn't fully have time to set up for that, and I picked the wrong one because Kodai ended up doing absolutely ridiculously on this drop, and Prism for the most part flopped. As far as my setup goes for this drop, I stuck with the same thing I mentioned earlier, that I'm trying to limit those task groups to either 50, 100, or 200, keep them in that range. Again, this lets me manipulate the skews or change the sites and just adapt during drop better and more quickly. You will also notice that there are a couple proxy groups in here that I added. So I've got Toro, Danger, and Proxy Heaven ISPs. So again, just pay attention to those groups and see which proxies are hitting in the videos coming up. One more thing I'd mention about my setup, I've been making sure that I've started my tasks 20 to 30 minutes before a foot site drop. That is extremely early, but it's really helped me get all of my tasks into queue and actually be able to pick up the product when the drop starts. So that is very early, but remember with that, if you're gonna start that early, raise the delays on those tasks to like 80,000 to 100,000, all right? Let that run, that's gonna save your data, and then about a minute or 2 before the drop, bring your delays back down to like 3 or 5K. All right, on to the footage from the Pollen drop, enjoy.
So far we've had live hit for me. Got 1 check out there for live. 2 on Proxy Heaven. 2 on Lemon. Nothing yet on Prism. But again, we're up here cranking these out. Yeah, got another one.
There you go.
Do the dance.
How many pairs so far?
8.
There you go. All on wrap?
It is looking like that. Yep.
Can't believe my wrap. Are you using Qit for the captcha? For rat?
For Wrath, I don't have anything up. I don't have any solvers up.
Oh, like for harvesters, you just had it run?
Yeah, if you're not using autosolve for Qt, which you shouldn't, it's just nothing. I don't have anything up.
Surprisingly, Lemon hasn't been doing it for me.
Yeah, I haven't had. I think like they hit really quickly right off the bat for me, but then I haven't had any real movement on them in a minute. Taro just hit me 1. Sheesh.
Let's go. Got another one off live.
So obviously I'm very thrilled with those results. 21 is a great outcome for that drop. Shoes are pretty profitable. They look really good. So I'm very happy with that. But as always, I'm looking to how I can improve in the future. And honestly, I should have had Kodai set up to start. I didn't get that rolling until about 15 minutes into the drop, and it got me 4. But that bot really crushed this drop. So had I had that set up and had that rolling off the bat, I should have done better. But again, I'll go back to the drawing board and do better next time. As I've mentioned several times in this video, the proxies that I have recently added to my setup were the majority of the hits that I got. So please just be constantly monitoring what you're doing and what is actually working. If you're using proxies all the time that don't work, try to get another provider, right? If you've been lazy about trying to get in some of these private proxy groups, get on Twitter, turn on your notifications, and get in these groups. It is going to help you cook more shoes. Anyways, with all that being said, I'll just close out here. I'm extremely happy with how I did on these 2 drops. I'm even more excited about the Jordan 4 Lightnings coming up. Both of these drops I've done pretty well on, and I've mentioned what I could have done better, and I'll definitely be prepared for that, and that's in about 10 days right now from when I'm filming this.